that will begin after. I will talk later.
You want, okay. You want me to do the presentation, to say how...
Hello, good afternoon. I am pleased to be here to try to give you my passion, which is the light of the movies, and that you acquire something new. Anyway, I have to make some history of how I become director of photography. I was born in Africa, in Tangier, not in Spain, but from Spanish parents. And my father was a very good cine club man of cinema, and I go a lot to the cine club movies from very little, from very young. And after at a moment, it happens that I learned that in Spain there was a school, a movie school, and I tried to go to Madrid to learn on this movie school. I have to say that before going to Madrid, I learned to make at the epoch, which was always chemical. I learned a lot about making enlargements of photos in color, on color. That means that when I arrived to Madrid, my parents had no money at all, so I worked at the photo laboratory making the post-production of photos, not movies, but photos. But that was something very important for all the time after, because it gives me a great knowledge of the post-production of the image. So that was very important for me. And I have to say that at the School of Cinema of Madrid, I say it for so that can happen with some of you, I don't know. But on the second year of being, it was 4 years, at the second year, the director of the school told there was a ceremony at the end of each year with what they think the diplomas of the people who try to learn at the school, and he says before all people, he says, Mr. Alcaine, it's better that you don't continue on cinema because you have not the slightest idea of the cinema, of the movie. So it's better you choose another way of being in the life and not the movie. It was very surprising. But it was due to the fact that in my trying to work with the light, I found that the technical lights which were at that moment were used, which was mainly the light stands with Fresnel. So you know what is a Fresnel, no? The Fresnel lens. You don't know what is a Fresnel lens? Yes. So all all was with Fresnel lens, and sincerely, I do not like the kind of light of the Fresnel lens, because I found mainly that the Fresnel lens, if you are near a wall, you have a shadow, can be 3 shadows. But if the director of photography is good, only a shadow. but a shadow very, very sharp, which for me was never something real. And I try always from the beginning, I try always to do a light which was acceptable as existing light, which means that I does not love at all the light which was not seen as natural, a possible light which on the place where the action of what we were shooting, I need that the audience see that there is a light which can be real, because if there is light which cannot be real, for me it was terrible. Normally the audience does not see these differences, but I think that under they see at the end they found that these lights are for cinema or not. And what I wanted is that the light was not for cinema. In that sense, I does not love the genre, el género, la fotografía de género, de género, terror, por ejemplo, o acción.
Genre de film, genre films.
I does not love too much because that were always not a natural photography. But it exists, and it is sometimes you have to do something similar. But I try always to do in another way. For example, the terror movies was always has big shadows, very sharp, with contrasting movies, and all these kind of things. I found that this kind of light is excellent, but for me it has behind the question: is that believable? It is believable that this light existed? No, for me no. But it exists for the movies. So now the audience see it as a movie when they saw it. I have at the beginning, like on 1978, more or less, it was proposed me a terror movie. Who can kill a child? I don't know if you know it, but it can be taken note to see because it is interesting. And this movie, which was a terror movie, was made with a very, very normal light and not by night. I discussed it a lot with the director, and it happens that at the end he said, well, we do like you said, nearly all daylight, in exterior on the beach, on the beach. And at the end, this movie now is considered a cult movie because it is really a terror movie, but a terror movie because you found that that can happens in your life, because the terror movie does not say that to you. There is no possibility that you can have a Frankenstein near you in some place. That is impossible. But the way this movie was created means that it can happen in any place, and that is very strange, because this movie treat from that the small children can do very harm proposed against the adult. Against the gender. And that is very interesting because it happens that now, at least in Spain, it happens. It happens a lot, by the way. Well, anyway, that is, from this point of view, I tried, as I said, to change the light which was created. And I introduced, for the first time, before the photograph used that, I introduced in the light of the movies, the umbrella. Some light of this Fresnel lens against the interior of a white umbrella to do light of films. If you have to see a film that is, the name is El Sur, the South, which is all the movie is made with umbrellas light. And it is really, you have to say it, but I say from a point of view, that is a very beautiful movie. Very, very beautiful movie. And after, but the umbrellas and the light of the umbrella have a problem that it needs a lot of time to place the umbrellas, to hang them, and that was not efficient for making the movie. So I changed, and I found before it was used by anyone, I begin to use the fluorescent lights. And I in this epoch, I goes to England or Italy or North America, and there was no fluorescent light specially made for movies. And I was the first one. So I traveled with a big, ¿cómo se dice maleta?
Suitcase.
Luggage, very big luggage, plenty of fluorescent, because that was fluorescent that I made with the Kelvin necessary, 3,200 or 500, 600 daylight and the tungsten light. And I use it, and at the end it was incorporated to all the lights used on the movies. Now this light is more or less the light of the LED or LED? LED. The LED light used normally and now on the movies. That's why, as I try to find the best light. That's why at the school of Madrid, they said to me that I have to find another way of living and not making noise. Well, anyway, that was the case. Well, and now we go with what I will talk about as my problem is always light, and I found that there is one fact that is never used on the cinematography and really have not been studied by the school, I think, is the use of the stop of the diaphragm. The stop of the diaphragm is very, very important for me, because you can use it in basically in two ways. One way is to open a lot. Now there is a tendency to open to 2 or 1.3 and doing the movie with digital world to shoot very open. I am the contrary. I think that is better to close it a lot. But a lot, I think, Well, we will talk about it. So I will begin to show you something which happened to me during the pandemic. No se dice pandemia? During the pandemic, because I stay at home like a lot of you. I think I stay at home, and with the platform is very easy to see a lot of movies and a lot of classical movies. And so I see a lot of classical movies, and it happens me that the movies I have saw in my epoch, on the 50s, 60s, 70s, was very interesting. Now they continue to be very interesting, and really leave me something inside. They carry emotion, and I say, why these movies of this old epoch carry all emotion yet? And looking at it, I say, well, I don't not understand why exactly, but it happens that as I am a DP, a director of photography, I think, well, from the point of view of photography, what happened really? And what I found is that these movies, I was seeing now classical movie, there was never, nothing out of focus. There was always all at focus. And now the way of doing movies are plenty of out of focus. But plenty, in always, because there is too fast, more or less. Is that the director and also the DP sometimes thinks that it's better to concentrate on one fact on the movies, and all the rest is out of focus. But that, which is not bad for small monitors with a big screen, that means that the audience see a lot of out of focus because it's very big, and a lot of out of focus, and there is nothing here, nothing at all. All is can be the focus is on the principal character, but not anything more, nothing. Even if there is more actors, they are out of focus. They think they are well, they are working very well, but they are not in focus. When I told that on a master class, there was an actress who says to me, I have to say that I am an actress out of focus. She told, only when I have something to say, I have a shot. But if not, I am always out of focus. And it's very sad. It's very sad. So I will show you fragments, pieces of some films, so you can see that there was no out of focus, nothing at all. I will say at the beginning, the out of focus was created in all the world, was created mainly for some technical facts that some lenses open more than 2, 1.4, 1.3, even 1.1. Even the Nautilus lens of Leica lens, which were very can be opened to the diaphragm a lot, but a lot. which is means that the focus is only on a thing, on a place. But that also I have to consider, because I found that the TV spots which were made between 1990 2000, more or less, discovered something for the monitor, and I have to say that the men who photo all the DPs which were working on that on all the world apart were the same DP which will dominate 10 years after the photos. And they found that the monitor is small and cannot carry a lot of information. So, and the way of making this spot is like a spot of 25 seconds with 30 shots different. And so this shot has only 1 second or less at the monitor. And to fix the attention of the audience of these spots at the TV sets at home, they found that the way of doing it is to put the focus only at one thing. So in 1 second you see that thing. And so years after, they work a lot on the movies with the same principle. But the difference is that which was thinking on a spot, on a shot of 1 second, can be shots of 1 minute and a half. And the 1 minute and a half with a focus on a place and all the rest out of focus, what I think do is to go back, rechazar, ¿cómo se diría rechazar en inglés?
Reject. Reject.
That means that the others is rejected by the what they are looking, because there is nothing to look. Because I think that the great moment of the movies of the 50, 60, 70, 80, what they get is that the audience are involved on the movies. They form in a certain way without knowing really what it happened. You see a movie and you are being incorporated to what that movies happened, or what they are looking at. And that is absolutely the contrary of the movies now, with this way of out-of-focus movies. Because that kind of out-of-focus reject even if it is unconsciously, I don't know, more or less, it's unconsciously for the audience, but they happens that they are rejected and they are not incorporated at the movie. That is a loss for the movie. We will see some movies to see that the work of the depth of field, the depth of focus on the movie makes that the people, the audience is more incorporated at the movie, and in plus does not need so many shots, because now a scene is like before. At the time I was shooting at the beginning, the camera were very, very expensive. So to have 2 cameras was very difficult, and to have 3, that is more. Only the very, very important can be have can have 3 cameras, but normally no. And the cost of the negative and all the positive and the lab and all was very expensive. And now that around the digital world, there is something which is very beneficial for all, is that the cost is very low. That's beneficial for all. The cost is really, really low, so it's very easy to have 3-4 cameras on the set. And that's what means that in a certain way, you can go faster. You put 4 cameras, but normally that means that you have a wide camera on a central place with the big scene, a wide camera more or less, and after some other camera which takes pieces. But this camera which take pieces of the action and have a problem because they need to have long lenses, not the lenses which were used before, which was always trying to go the nearest possible of the actors, but very, very far away with very long lenses. And that means that these long lenses have something in focus and all the rest out of focus. That's another problem. But it's very easy because at the contrary of before, a lot of movies are made in post-production, not really on the shooting, but in post-production. In the moment of editing, they are choosing when at the time, many years ago, and with Pedro yet, we are shooting, we know when there is a shot, we talk with the director and me, and it can be some actors, and we choose what is the best shot in place. If we have shooted like the same shot 10 times, he says, well, the 7th, and can be the 8th also. And that are the 2. Now, no. Now, they all go to editing, and we will see. And that's for all the shots. The actors never know what shot will be chosen. They never know. At the shooting, never. Before, yes, but now they never know. And for the actors, there is a problem, which is not our problem, but it is important, is that they does not know in what sense they have to show the place, because they don't know what is the audience. Because if you have four cameras, the actor does not know if it is this camera, this one, or this one, which will be with him at the moment. So they does not project really freely and with power, the way they want to do their work. They does not know. They are so that means that the emotion does not exist because they does not know where to project it. That is also very important. Well, so now I will show you some pieces of movie, and you will see the first piece I show you is The Grape of Wrath. I think it's correctly to say. It's a movie of Jean Fort of the 1940. It is it's black and white. It's a very good movie. It has the Oscar of photography and the Oscar of best movie. And it's black and white because near all the films I will show to you are in black and white, because at the time on the just 1940 or 1939, something like that, the Kodak do a new movie, a new film in black and white, which was called Double X, which was very speedy. Has a lot of sensibility. It arrives, if necessary, till 400 or 500 ISO. No, they say ISO. So that means that you can close a lot the f-stop. I will show mainly black and white, some color movies, but at this epoch, which is the epoch which I have seen at the pandemic, at this epoch, not so many movies were made, and it happens that the Eastman Color, which was mainly color movie, which is of this epoch, was very slow, very slow. So the movies have never this kind of light, of work of the DP, never in color. It was sometime later which the director can do this kind of depth in film on his movies, or their movies. Well, we will see now. The first one is a film of John Ford, where you have the director of photography is Greg Tolan. You have here of him? No. No. Well, for me, the greatest DP who has been on the movies. He was the DP of Citizen Kane. That means more things to you. It is a DP which was very young, very young, and who died with 44 years, very young also. And he's a great DP. Bueno, vamos allá. Esto se me ha apagado. This scene, you can see all the scene is in focus all in all parts. I have to say, you see that all people are in focus. These shots are from YouTube, and they are not very good. But I have seen the original, and it is all in very sharp, very sharp.
You took the contract, didn't you? That's true, but it's key to the price. Might be a little more, might be a little less.
But you see him, but all the people around.
You just show us your license to contract. Then you make out an order. Where and when and how much you're going to pay. And you sign it and we'll go.
Now listen, smart guy. I'll run my business my own way. I got work. If you want to take it, okay.
So this you can choose where to look. You can look to him, but you can look everywhere. And it is in focus, really in focus when
you guys will have to take it because you'll be hungry.
In this case, which was from YouTube, can be you see something at the end out of focus. But that is a movie which is a copy, which is not good. But here you have all the people here, always in focus.
Ever see this guy before?
And you can go from one to another. You don't need a shot here, a shot here, a shot here. Which will be the way we do it now.
Got nothing on him.
Open your trap again and you'll go too. Now you fellas don't want to listen to troublemakers. You better all pack up and come on up to Dolores County. Come on, you.
going back, and he's also in focus at the end. Well, now we see that is a film of 1940. We go to the second one. That is a movie, that is Citizen Kane. That also from of Greg Tolan, of the same DP.
Be careful, Charles. Pull your muffler
Look,
around your neck, Charles.
here the boy is a focus, here is in focus, him also, and they will be all the long traveling here. She is in focus, the three are in focus, and they are acting one over the other.
Just because we come into some money.
That's a depth of field work.
The father has a right to.
With the boy always also in focus at the end.
Behind. That property is just as much my property as anybody's, now that it's valuable. And if Fred Page had any idea all this was going to happen, he'd have made out those certificates in both our names.
They were made up in Mrs. Kane's name.
He owed the money for the board to the board.
The bank's decision on all matters.
I don't
And
know
after, in addition, combine all these kinds. But here it is sold only one shot.
Concerning his education,
That means that you can go from one, you can look at one another at the same
full
time.
management of the Colorado loan, of which I repeat, Mrs. Kane, you are the sole owner.
Where do I sign, Mr. Thatcher?
Right here, Mrs. Kane.
Mary, I'm asking you for the last time. Anybody think I hadn't been a good
The sum of
husband, father?
$50,000 a year is to be paid to you and Mr. Kane as long as you both live, and thereafter to the survivor.
Well, let's hope it's all for the best.
It is. Go on, Mr. Thatcher.
Everything else, the principal as well as all monies earned, is to be administered by the bank in trust for your son Charles Foster Kane until he reaches his 25th birthday, at which time he is to come into complete possession.
Charles! Go on, Mr. Thatcher.
Well, it's almost 5, Mrs. Kane. Do you think I'd better meet the boy?
I've got his trunk all packed. I've had it packed for a week now.
I've arranged for a tutor to meet us in Chicago. I brought him here with me, but...
Well, that way of doing is something which I noticed, but I does not know if you notice, you can notice it, is that what we saw is not flat. There is some relief on the image, something which separate the different distance to the camera, and you can see it. You can see it. Relief is what called relieve. ¿Cómo se dice? Relieve. Bueno, okay. Relief. Like a relief. Excuse me, because English is not my usual language. Anyway, that happens in Citizen Kane. That is a movie of 41 of the last center. Well, that's a movie from William Wyler,
Hola, joven.
which is a 46.
Stevenson está ahí atrás.
And
Sí.
you will see now
Hola, Al. Hola.
what is important on this scene
Hola, joven.
is the relation between him
Oye, vamos a enseñarle algo que ensayar.
and him.
Bueno, vamos a
Here.
enseñarte algo. Anda, ven.
All the time the relation between the
Espera oír esto.
is the main
¿Listo, muchacho?
thing
Listo cuando tú lo estés.
on the screen.
1, 2, 3.
But at the same time, there is focus here at the hand of the binding. And here you see a little out of focus at the man at the phone. That is what happened here. That because that is the YouTube poll with the image, but it is always in focus. The tumor. That meant that
¿Qué pasa? ¿No te ha gustado? He pasado semanas ensayando.
Creo que sí, hombre, es estupendo. Creí que era una broma eso de las clases de piano.
¡Fre! ¿Era Fre?
Sí.
well, anyway, that is a movie of 46 who won also the best best movie of the year, the Oscar of the best movie. We have seen Citizen Kane, no, but the Jean Ford movie, The Grape of Wrath, and this one also were assigned as the best movie of the year. And it was always playing with the depth of film. We go to another. Okay. Here is Los Olvidados. That is a movie from a Spanish director, the best Spanish director. One the time
Es que va a regresar el patrón. ¿Y qué? Le haré como que soy un cliente.
you see
La
that
foto de
the
Julián se está
focus
poniendo feo.
is
¿Ya lo
on
pusieron?
even
No.
here.
Pero la policía anda preguntando a todos por el
Here
rumbo.
is always the focus on.
Y como tú lo conocías, seguro que te irán a ver. A mí me andan buscando por escaparme de la corte.
Y me preguntan qué.
Oh.
Todavía estás malo.
Here you have focus here.
Vaya
Here.
para comer, verías que
And
pronto
in the
te
back.
ponías bueno. Pero aquí para comer hay que trabajar. Pura flojera.
That's a movie who won
Buenas noches, don Carmelo. Le traía la
the
leche.
first prize at Cannes.
Gracias, mijita. Ni me acordaba. Con estas cosas que pasan por el rumbo.
You see?
Bueno, ya me voy.
Tómalo de la leche.
Gracias.
Vaya con él. Siéntate aquí. Eres una chamaquita muy buena. Qué bien huele tu pelo.
¿Sí? Pues no me pongo ni agua.
Eso es lo bueno, a tu edad no hace falta. Vaya con Messi. El olor natural es lo mejor. Gran desgracia que Dios me haya privado de la vista. Debe ser era como un ángel, pero traviesa como un diablillo.
Ya me voy.
Espera, te voy a dar una cosita. Un par de caramelitos para mi leche y de los buenos. ¿Eh? Pero antes. ¡Ojitos! ¡Ojitos, ven aquí! ¿Qué fue eso?
Algo que se cayó, señor.
¿Eso qué cayó, señora? ¿Para eso te estás enfermo? ¿Para que entraran
You
otros
see,
rateros?
here you have focus and the girl behind.
No te voy a matar, desgraciado. Ese es algo criminal y venía para matarme.
¡Viejo bruto, no me despegue más! ¡Fuérate! ¡Viejo tarugo!
¡Fuérate, bandido! Bandido, por razón te corrió tu padre. Por razón. De acuerdo. Pero mañana vamos a acabar con todo.
So you see, in Mexico, this movie was shot in Mexico. Buñuel employs at this epoch also the depth in field of the scene. That means also a thing that the shots were long sequence, very long sequence, normally in a shot, normally. But it can be 2 or 3 shots, but there are not plenty of editing, a cut of a lot of shots. Only 1 shot, made only 1. Well, that's very strange. That is the man who shot Liberty Balance, a film of Jean Fort. It's very strange because it's a western. It's a western at an epoch where all the western of Jean Fort were in color, and that was shot in black and white. And for me, well, always critics always say that that was for the epoch and no, I think that movie was made in black and white because the way it is shot needed a diaphragm was stopped very close, so it can be being shot at can be 11 or 16, but that's why it is made in
Caramba,
black and
señor
white.
profesor, creía que había abandonado usted la ciudad. ¿Qué hace usted por aquí?
Because it's very important that
Esperando
all
a ir
is in
archivar.
focus. You see that
¿Por qué no sale?
you have
Pues eso no es de
focus
nuestra
on him,
incumbencia.
on the background, on all people.
Todos vosotros habéis oído decir que va armado.
Yo no he dicho eso.
No será asesinato, señor comisario. Se trata de un caso de evidente defensa. Tú has oído cómo me retaba a salir, ¿verdad, Tinjón? Contesta, ¿sí o no? Y ahora apártate de mi camino. ¡Atención, amigo!
You see,
¿Estás ahí
now
fuera?
you have the 2 men
Yo diría que ese es
are
Liberty Balance.
in focus.
¿Y usted? Sí, yo también lo diría. Hasta otro rato, señores, todas.
You see him and him in focus the 2.
Acércate donde yo te pueda ver. Sal de las sombras, cobarde. Tienes 2 manos, lavaplatos. ¡Recógela! Está bien. Esta vez directamente entre los ojos. ¡Liberty! ¡Liberty! Además, tú no mataste a Liberty Balance.
¿Qué?
Haz memoria, amigo. Balance salió de la cantina. Tú caminabas a su encuentro cuando él...
What happens? Ay, ay, ay. Excuse me. Ay, ay, ay. Voilà. Yes. Excuse me, huh? Voilà. Voilà. Excuse me, huh? No. No, no, no. Because we have Poland. No, it was on Polish. Voilà. It's another way. Well, now we have nothing. We have not here. It is lost. The contact with the projection is lost. Aj.
Zavadnu kosky? Asi jo, protože tady teďka už se zrušilo to zrcadlení obrazovky. A to už se dá nastavit? A je to divný, že tam předtím to... víš, že to že se... A kdyby to v té prezentaci, by to bylo pro výbršní mod?
We try to start. Hola. Now, well, we have it here.
It's like a presentation note. I understand it's like a presentation note. And I should copy it.
Colors.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Here. That's okay. Wait. Well, we died.
So this is just a screenshot. That's like this is just the screenshot.
Yes. Well, we have to see another time. Excuse me, something does not work well. Well, anyway, we will see this thing another time. But it is not a bad thing, so it is not. But anyway, at the end, we will see when John Wayne begins to talk. After that, we will see the last scene here, where he shoots the bad man. We will see it from the point of view of John Wayne, which is not the same as we have seen all this scene. But there is something which is very interesting, is that the shot where you will see John Wayne who kills the bad man out of this thing with a rifle. He kills it is in focus at the same time that behind is in focus. So we see all the things. You will see. I'm sorry, because it is in Spanish. But this, you see that there is plenty of focus on the mirror. You see people which can be, which is not out of focus.
Yo diría que ese es Liberty Balance. ¿Y usted? Sí, yo también lo diría. Hasta otro rato, señores, todas. Acércate donde yo te pueda ver. Sal de las sombras, cobarde. Manos, lavaplatos, recógela. Está bien. Esta vez directamente entre los ojos.
Now, after on the other scene, we will see the same scene from another angle. Wayne spoke after the next scene. Now John Wayne is telling him that he does not kill Liberty Balance, that it was him.
¿Qué? Al memoria, amigo.
And we will see the same scene, but from another angle.
Balance salió de la cantina. Tú caminabas a su encuentro cuando él disparó el primer tiro. ¿Lo recuerdas?
So here you have the same scene, but him is in the back, here. But you will see something which is very interesting, is that these two men are in focus at the same time as the other. And they are in focus and they will participate on the scene. This scene works very well because the two are in focus. These two men and these two men. Because if the background is out of focus or them are out of focus, the scene does not work. It is for me one of the best scenes of a movie of John Ford. One of the best because he has a lot. And it is necessary that the two scenes, them and the background, are in focus. If not, it does not work. That's a movie of the 38, not the 40s, 38, 39. He won also the Oscar of the best movie. And it is always the depth of field of the focus. She will be working in back and forth, and you see that he is in focus. The servant at the end is in focus. Even the stair at the far away is in focus. All is in focus. That man, William Wyler, do all the scenes with focus. But you will see that in this movie, which is called The Little Foxes in English, La Loba in Spanish, but The Little Foxes, is very interesting. Now you have of the same movie another shot, and you see that this actor, which is near camera, is in focus at the same time that Bette Davis, which is in focus behind. But even more, here you will see.
Y a partir de entonces no pude soportar tenerte delante de mi vista. No podía soportar que me tocaras.
In very
Y pensaba que eras
big close-up, and she is also in focus at the same time.
cuando yo no quería que te acercaras
So
a mí.
the director chooses this way of telling the story and does not make a shot here and another cut to her. He wanted that you, the audience, sees all the work of the actor at the same time, and you can go from one to another. You look.
Aunque no podía adivinar que enfermarías del corazón tan pronto y tan gravemente. Soy afortunada ahora. Siempre lo he sido. Y tendré suerte de nuevo.
El otro frasco. Por favor, en mi habitación arriba, en el cajón.
Now you will see something which is surprising. For me, it's surprising that in a movie where all is in focus, here you have a shot which plays with focus and out of focus. Here, but it is on one long shot, this shot. So this director, William Wyler, plays here with something out of focus, but with something on the first part, on the big close-up, is in focus. It can work like that, and because he wanted that it was made on only one shot, no more. And with this shot, it makes all the scene, which will be normally now will be made with a lot of shots of another one. It has to do in one shot only. One. This is the last shot of another great movie of the time, of the later, is 59. But that's the last shot of The Third Man, the film of Carol Reed, which won also the Oscar. And in that shot, this shot where a woman comes and the shot is maintained all the time with him because they have been all the time in relation. But that's the end of the movie. It's the end of a movie very surprising. Never have been only a shot and a long shot to finish a movie like that. Because all the audience think that she will come to him, to embrace him, because it's the end of the movie. And that does not happen. On the movie. That is another shot where if you have not the women and him in focus has no meaning, because if it is out, she is out of focus, that has does not tell you nothing. Instead, this at the end of the movie is something very surprising and very emotive, very powerful. This is a color movie. That is a movie called The Seashell. It's another movie by John Ford. But you will see that all is also in focus, but the mount in the background, this first, the man who comes here is John Wayne, and then all in the background, the rocks are also in focus. All is in focus, and here the same. That is a scene with nobody talk. Nobody talk. It's only smile or looking to one another, but not talking. and it's the end of the movie. It's very well, very good. But at the same time, you have the focus on the mountains in the back and the hill. That's the ending where Steven Spielberg says that it's the best ending of a movie in the history of the movies. But if the shot were not all in focus, the shot will not work like that. Well, we have finished. I have no more step. So that's why you have seen the Extraña Forma de Vida, the Strange Way of Life, the Western I made with Pedro Almodóvar. You have seen it,
yeah.
And in that Western, all is playing in focus now at this epoch, and I think it works very well, and it's very important for the movie. For the movie, it's really, really very important. So, and I try in all my movies. I try that. We have a projection of the Strange Way of Life. No.
To do it now?
No. It is not supposed to.
No.
You have seen it or not?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
El problema es que el DCP está encriptado y se puede pasar solo en las horas dadas que nos permiten.
Perdón, se puede ver en la otra sala. Dice.
No, en las horas solo que nos permiten, porque el DCP está encriptado.
Ya.
It's very new, so the reason is that
Entonces, solamente, solo se puede ver una o dos veces, ¿no? Una vez.
Sí, solo entre las 7 y las 8 de la tarde cuando hay la proyección.
It is not true. That is true. Well, anyway, if you have not seen it, if possible, you will see it. It is made all the movie in focus, and it works. I think, well, it's my point of view. It works very well like that. Anyway,
I can only add that the film will be ready to see on a movie very soon. I think in 1 or 2 weeks. So whoever will want to watch it, it will be on movie.
Right.
It's the easiest way how to get it. And also, since it was on movie some days ago in the United States, I think if you will really look for, you will find it.
Anyway, for all of us, and I think for you also, it will be like that. It's not the same to see a movie on wide screen, your movies, on very wide screen, that in the movie or something like that. It's not the same. If the movie is really made for the big screen, because the difference is very, very important. Anyway, well, we can see the debate if you want, because
yes, for the moment, yes. Now I would like to open the debate. So for anyone who would like to ask anything, I would just remind first. We can, meanwhile, also speak about the as a surprise, because it's good for you if you see A Strange Way of Life, because it will be like a nice ending for this masterclass. So maybe talk a little bit more, because I knew that it was shot on 35mm, and also we would like to know how it was lighted. But this is a little bit mystery.
No, The Strange Way of Life was made in digital.
In digital, okay.
Yes, because there is always some good effects and some bad effects, secondary bad effects. The digital has very good effects. You can close stop a lot, because Strange Way of Life was shot at the ISO ISO is ISO of 6,400. All the movie, from the beginning to the end. All 6 were not. I express not all the interiors are shot at 6,400. The exterior, not. The exterior was shot more normal. But more normal for me is 2,000. Is not lower. I love to go very high on the ISO to have a very close down stop, and that sometimes is impossible unless you go very high on ISO. And so these movies, you can see it. That is why if possible, you have to see this movie of Pedro on big screen, because you can see what 6,400 ISO gives on a bigger screen. It's very important for your work if you do it, because it is not the same going to this high ISO. It's not the same the monitor and the big screen.
Yes. Can I ask you, what camera did you use for the Strange Way of Life?
The Arri.
Arri
with signature lenses.
Okay.
Yes. Because I made something I tell you if you want to see, to try, because for me it's very important. Can be you love when you shot with a candle light to have a halo, no? All around it. I think it can be very interesting to do it on a movie, but that gives you something like a romantic and something I does not think that for this Western movie was interesting. And there was like 2 scenes with candles. So I try all the lenses I can to see what is better for the candles. And there was very beautiful halo around the candle, but I did not want that, and I found that the signature has no halo for all around the candle, nothing. Even I tried something which was very interesting. I tell you to do it if you have to do candle scene. To try, if you want, is to place a candle on a table and make pan over it without a shade, without protection on the lens, to see what will happen. And with near all the lenses we try, all before arriving to see the candle on the screen, to see it, we see a flare on the camera. All, not the signature. The signature was no flare at all, but nothing at all, nothing, unless you are on the candle, and even like that there is no flare. There is something I does not like. Normally, on a film with a candle lights, is what is called the ghost, which means that we were shooting with the Strange Way of Life is shooted in 235 on all the cinemas company, but with spheric lenses, with normal lenses, not special lenses. And with this kind of screen so wide, if you are with candles, you can have something which happens sometimes, is that you have a candle on an extreme of the screen, and you have the ghost of the same candle on the other extreme. I found it in a long quantity of movies which happens like that. Well, if it happens, for me, it's very disturbing. But people can be say, well, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. It's not normal. It's something created by something which is not good in the lens. But also, what is not good can be used creatively in the movie. That depends on you always. You can choose to do it in a way or another. That depends on the movie, the director, the story, a lot of factors, and you have to know that there is possibility to do in a way or another.
Yeah. So before I give you, maybe we still have nice 20 minutes even to talk. Before I give you ask you for another question, I would just remind that José Luis Alcaine worked with Pedro Almodóvar on all of his films from The Women at the Brink of Nervous Breakdown from 1988. But that he also he's like a maestro of Spanish cinema, of world cinema, of course, but of Spanish cinema also, because he worked with many of the most known Spanish filmmakers like Fernando Trueba or Carlos Saura or Vicente Aranda or Vigas Luna, or also on the film that is called El Sur, the South, that you referred to, with Victor Erice. So my question, before I give you another opportunity, is, and it is a question that we try to resolve here, is the sort of the color narration, because what I saw in El Sur is that the colors are were selected very attentively, or at least to my opinion, it told a story with colors. When I saw Almodóvar film, I always watch for colors, how they work. So and also when you have such a scale of to compare also with your filmmakers, they also used a lot of not a long depth of field many times. So how do you work with colors? How do you work with different filmmakers as well with this?
Well, normally I have found in my story, I am fond of the depths of it. Now, on the pandemic, I have studied it, like I have some, but always I have loved a big depths of it, because I do not love, and the director I work with think the same, because it is my always a question I have asked to the director. He wants some shot to have change of focus from one actor to another. Is something which is made a lot now. I hate it. I hate it. So I asked to the director, and normally I will say that all things that is a bad way of making movies, to have something which tells the audience that you are seeing a movie. Because if you do like that all the time, the audience will say, well, that's normal, that's a movie. But that is not normal. And if you see this kind of movie, like we have saw John Ford movie, and there is never a change of focus. The change of focus has appeared now, in some 25 years ago, because before that does not exist. Never have been seen in the movie before these last 25, 30 years at least, 25, a change of focus in a same shot, a change of focus, because that was seen like a bad way of telling a story. But now it is done a lot. And by way of being with the director in good relationship is to ask him if he loves that or not. No. They all says, no, I don't know. So I tell you, so you can know in a certain way how you have to work after. It is very easy to change focus, but it is better if possible to have focus on the two. And that is possible now. That is very possible. There is even a shot on parallel mother. There is a shot where I does not arrive to have focus on two. It was a very, very big close-up of the two girls from a side point of view. One here and the other like that, but like that. And the two are in focus. And I have to ask the assistant to dismount the lens, the system of the lens, to take it out, to go a little more close, so we can do this shot. And that's, I told you, because it was very easy to do, flack, flack. I said, rack, 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 rack. When I saw it, I said, well, another rack, rack. Well, anyway, it is very easy, but it is not a good way of doing it.
Can we start the...
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you feel like, since you prefer deep focus, that you sometimes miss out on the benefits of an 85 or 100 millimeter lens? You have to kind of choose between having the focal length or the deep focus.
Yes, when that depends on the scene, because it is interesting to have a good depth of field when you have some different actors. If you have only an actor, you can go with a 500 over him and all is out of that means, because there is no other thing than the close-up of the actor. That can be done without problem. But when you have some relationship between the characters which you are seeing at the screen, if possible, I will try always that I have to do in focus, because it's terrible. You think it's terrible for an actor, which is a good actor. Normally, they are good near all, but when you have an actor and he's like very near the principal character, and but it is secondary, that is done, is doing the best of his life. And after he sees the screen, I think, well, I am out of focus. Why I was doing all this, trying to do the best of me and all that. They can tell me that I was out of focus. And that's we are what I will say. We are friends on the shooting. Why something like that is near normal today? That something like, I will say sometimes, the art director with the decor, which is always only a shot, big shot is all in focus, and after all is out of focus. And why? We go to a palace, something like a palace at Munich or at Paris to shoot, and there is only one shot in focus, and all the other is out of focus. Why? Why this kind of things happens? I think it's because it is easy. First thing, it is very easy to do like that, and it's very fast to do like that. When you do it the other way, you need a little more extra time to put some light more, to see. But if you are shooting very wide open and near all is out of focus, you can well see secondary actor, which is 3 meters away, is out of focus, is doing well, but well, it is out of focus. Finish. The assistant director has not to direct anything near, because all is out of the reach of the view of the audience. It's very strong, strange way, and I think that is what, in a certain sense, made the audience going out of the movies and say, well, tomorrow is forget. This movie is forget. Because there is nothing to remember. There is nothing emotional in what you see. Because it all is very cold. It's my point of view. Well.
What did you learn from the collaboration with Pedro Almodóvar?
What?
What did you learn?
Well, it's very strange because it's very strange. I would say. My way of working is not normal. I am not normal. I would say, but it's not normal because there is something which happens with me, which has to do in some way, has to do with the actor's studio. It's very strange. You know that the actor, or the actor's studio way of doing, they does not try to know too much of the scene they will be shooting. On the strange way of life, this short of Pedro Almodóvar, we had an actor which was very actor studio. It was Ethan Hawke. He's very gentle, and but in the way the actor studio work, they does not want to know too much of what is the story, and even too much of what they have to say before doing the movie. They read, and after they are like open to change, and they say that if they are too aware of what happens, their way of playing is not good because it is too cerebral. But if they know what they have to do or what they have to tell at near the moment of the shooting, they will be always more fresh. In a certain way, that is a part of the actor studio work this way. And so Ethan Hawke, when he was making rehearsal with Pedro Almodóvar, he does not want to tell the text because he wanted to learn the text just at the moment of the shooting. And that was not accepted by Pedro, which in a certain way was more theatrical to the way he directs the actors, and he want can be 3, 4, 5 weeks before to rehearse the same scene to add some point of view, some things, and that is the contrary of the actor studio. In a certain way, I am of the actor studio, or that sense, that I does not plan the light before I see the actors and the director on the scene playing it, on a certain sense. At the end, when we are ready to shoot, we will see some rehearsal, last rehearsal, and at that moment, or near that moment, very near that moment, I saw it and I put the light for that. That means that I have to I am so old that I know a lot of light and the way of putting the light, and that I do it very fast. But I do it very fast on the moment, just of shooting, not before. The way of shooting of the American way, because I have shooted also in America, the American way is all the contrary. There is a clue of lighting before, a crew of lighting at the moment and a crew of lighting after. For me, the before was never used. And the American says, no, do you prepare? No, I told to them, if I make the light before, I am lighting the decor, not the characters, because the decor is very important, but they are more important than the decor. If I light the decor, I am lighting for selling, selling tables and chairs, and can be a bed or something like that. But I am not working with humans. I need to work with humans because what is important to see on the movies is the human relations, the emotion, and not the place, not the what is around, which is important. It is place, but it's less important. So I try to light mainly the actors. The light is always placed for the actors in my movies, not for another thing.
I don't know.
No. Go ahead.
Could you tell more about the importance of your early practices and experience in color development and post-production?
Excuse me. What?
Could you tell us more about why it's so important to you, the early experiences you had on colored film post-production?
Yes, well, that's very easy to do. My way of shooting is something also very different than the other director. When I do the movie, when I do with Pedro or another director, I does not do the camera. I am always with the image. So I am with the monitor, and I am playing with the light, with the color on the monitor, and some correction, but at the same time. Normally when I do a movie, I does not do post-production. I do all the post-production is at the same time I'm doing the movie. At the end of the day, the image I give to the editing and to Pedro to edit is the same image which will be shown on the big screen at the end. It's the same. So that for Pedro is very important because he is editing with me in this case, but he is editing the movie at the same time we are shooting. That means that we have parallel mother parallel, was shot in 9 weeks. Which we finish on the 9th week. We finish on a Thursday. The day after, on Wednesday, Pedro has finished the movie. He has edited all the movie, and it was correct of color. On the day after, one day, it was all the weekends making the movie. But I have to say that there was no post-production because there is no need of post-production of color or anything of that. But that comes from the fact that I have done a lot of post-production before myself when I was young. So I know how to manage all the color, to assemble all the image, to do all the things, which normally is 3, 4, 5 weeks of post-production. That's very different. And that is very important for Pedro as director, because he is doing the movie, seeing what it is done. We have something which has to be said, that Pedro, as is the producer also of the movie, is shooting always in line of the story. That's very important and very good for him, because he sees from where is the film going on all kinds of things, on color, on movement of the actor, on the actors even, so he can change how is going the movie. And that has to do with the fact that he says, like I says also, that the shooting is something which is life, really life. It is not something which is closed, but it can go from to one side to another. It can change from one day to another, and it changes a lot.
Quizás, I will translate into English later. Quizás la buena relación con Pedro es por eso que ha dicho que Pedro Almodóvar es muy teatral, ensaya mucho,
sí.
hace un rodaje secuencial de toda la historia, y eso está en relación con la profundidad de campo. En el teatro se ve todo,
Claro.
Y lo que estábamos viendo en las películas de los años 40, John Ford, ves cómo actúa cada uno de ellos, ¿no?
Sí.
I mean, I was telling probably the good relationship between Pedro Almodóvar and José Luis is the Almodóvar works in a theatrical way. He rehearses a lot before start the shooting, and then he shoot in a chronological way all the movie. And in theater, you can see everything. So the way that José Luis works and what we saw on the movies is you can see everything. You can see all the actors performing. So it's like theater. That's it. So.
Well, you have not seen Human Voice. You have not seen, which was a short projected yesterday. No, yesterday before. Saturday. But if possible, it will be nice that you saw Human Voice and The Strange Way of Life, one after the other, because they are. You can think that the light is similar. They are very different. They are similar and very different at the same time, because the Human Voice has a light which is can be very well understood by all. It is in a certain way it is a theater light. Instead of The Stranger Way of Life is similar in the light, but it has a big difference. Is that the light is normal light. I tried to that the light was not something for the cinema. That it can be, you can be at the Western place where 200 years ago, 150 years ago, can be placed into the story of the movie. That will be the natural light, because in a certain way, the Human Voice was a story for the cinema. Instead of the Strange Way of Life is something which can happen really at the time of the 150 years. So it is a gay movie. It's about a relation between two men. Basically, it's that story. And that, for me, and for Pedro also, but I just got to pick about that, has to give the audience the impression that they are looking at something which has to happen a lot of time on the Western world. Because the Western was a world of men. Near no women were. can be the worst, la putas que dice, can be, but near no women, and so that word of Ben has to give on a certain sense, has to give life to gays. That is normal, and I think that has to be shown on the screen with the light also. That you are looking at something which is normal, which is not movies. The human was clearly a movie, and for me the strange way of life was clearly the life of the time.
You also work with Carlos Saura?
Yes.
Could you maybe tell something if there was something specific with collaborating with him?
Well, well, I have made only one movie, which was I Carmela, and another movie which was very interesting because it was the first movie of musical, which he shot a lot of music movies, and that was the first music movie, and Sevillanas is called. It's very interesting movie. You can see so also. It is the first movie which gives way to a lot of movies he has done about tango, fados, all kinds of musical worlds, and it is very interesting. I have only an anecdote which was very notorious for me, which was that I discovered something which was very interesting. I discovered that I will tell the shooting. I will explain because it's very strange. The shooting was storyboard of the storyboard of the movie. I will say, which is very strange. I will say. A lot of directors know, but a lot of directors work with storyboard doing. He does not work with storyboard. But when he do a movie of all what we prepare and light and all that, after done it and after shooting it, he draws it. And he makes a story after the storyboard about the movie, which is very, so I say, for you, and I tell him, for you, the storyboard, your storyboard is a movie for doing the storyboard. It's very strange. Well, that was something I told him.
Another question.
Okay, so I want to ask, like, you do the lighting after the rehearsal and blocking is done, so how
No, well, not at all, not all, but I am looking at him when he make a rehearsal. I am looking and I am preparing the light with gaffer. I am preparing the light, but looking at what he is doing, because if not, we have not too much time. That's but we can go very fast.
And so the question is, like, how do you decide and prepare the equipment for the light? Like, I don't know how much, because there's a lot of improvisation on set.
No.
No?
No. No. Well, I will say, in a certain sense, what normally my way of shooting is first of all, to the script and to the director, I told them, I do not want this kind of script. On this sense, normally a script says scene 43, daylight, interior of the house, of the kitchen. I will say that is not good for me. I want that you say with talking with between the script, the editor can be the editor, and the director, that this kitchen is 5 o'clock in in the afternoon or 10 o'clock in the morning. I want all this made, all the script, all the scenario. I want to precise all the hours, but because for me all the hours have a precise light, different. Evidently, the audience does not see that, but at the end, it is a sum of things, a lot of things which happens, which has to be controlled, and which add to the story, because that means that with that hour, the precision of the hour, I make the passing of the time of all we are shooting. And that is very important, really, really very important. So if I have, can be when, at the time of Pedro rehearsal, I am making this kind of light of the time passing, and after I precise the light of the actors. Can be this kind of things. Thank you.
Another technical thing is we are 24. The next maybe
we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe this is the time for the last two comments.
What we have to go?
Yeah, in 5 minutes. No, we should we should leave the cinema in 5 minutes because the
next screen.
The next screening is 18:45.
Okay. Muy bien.
So no, but yeah, so we still have these like 1-2 comments, questions. So there is one.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point in your career did you switch from operating yourself with the camera and moving the lights yourself to stepping back and being...
No, never.
You always started behind the monitor, wow.
One question. Before there was no monitor. And there was a time which there was never the director made the camera. The director of photography begins to do the camera very late on the 90 can be. Before there was always a camera operator, always. And normally the American movies are made with a camera operator, normally. Not always, but normally. There is a lot of this kind of things. Because there was a lot of work to do to light a movie. There was a lot of work. So the director of the photography only does the light, and there was a camera operator to do the camera. Normally, it was mainly after the Nouvelle Vague Française, because the Nouvelle Vague introduced that the director of photography works in a way different of the other director before. The director of photography before worked only on studio, mainly on studio, and the French Nouvelle Vague goes out of the studio on anywhere so they have to have some new director of photography. That means that all changed the light and all this, because they have to adapt to the natural interior, and that means a lot of difference. And they found that to do the camera, camera operator before worked with what was called the Mitchell head, which was Mitchell with, and that was a big, normally big like that head, and that for the interiors it was very difficult to work with that, and so they tried to change all that, and for that they found that the director of photography at the same time as a camera operator can be for this interior can be more easy to work because they work less people on these small sets.
Okay, so I think it is the time. Then I saw that you are already working on some new films, so we will be looking for that, and also that I invite you all to discover the films of filmmakers of José Luis, of all his filmmakers he worked with, and also Brian De Palma I didn't mention. And thank you for being here with us. And you are always here at home in Prague, so come whenever you like and share your new ideas. Thank you.
Thank you all for being with me on this.